I'm just at this point now where um, I'm sticking to myself, and I'm at this point now of my life where I gave y'all back in 2024, I gave you guys some insight into what I was going through with my baby father. And I know that the hand of God is surrounding me and protecting me, because it was many nights from the time that I was pregnant up to the time that I had my son. I questioned my whole life and my motives, decisions that I made, my family, people who were supposed to be friends of mine, because I realized a lot of people that I was there for, that I thought that I could count on, people who looked at my profiles and always talking about something, they listened to my messages and, oh, Victoria, you doing such good things, and when I really needed help, because they looked and judged my situation and saw I had fell down. And I didn't know how I was going to be able to pick myself back up, because that's how I know when people try to spiritually group up against you, and you know what it is, because you know if there was ever a period or a time where it's almost like people was trying to prevent me from working in my own career field. And he would mention certain things like, oh, in 10 years, HR is going to be obsolete. Never anything he could say stupid out his mouth. There's a lot of things that I didn't tell people of how he put me down, how he belittled me, how he let other women that he claimed was friends, calling these women, oh, am I fucking you? All kind of things this man did to show his immaturity. You know what I'm saying? When deep down inside, I don't need you to confirm anything for me, because you can't pull nothing over somebody's eye who's being used by God. God would drop it in my spirit. And one thing about God I could tell you, a lot of people try to discredit and say, oh, she just saying that. Baby, let me tell you something. It's been nights I couldn't sleep, that I wanted to keep friends in my life. I didn't understand why God kept nudging me. Like, oh, something is off, something is wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I'm keeping these friends up in my life. It ain't shit going right. Ain't nobody calling me. Ain't nobody hiring me. But I'm keeping these friends around me. I kept myself in certain environments where he was like, I told you I'm going to keep you. And baby, when I tell you God kept me, it would be calls I would get. People would take up my case and would tell me, oh, we're going to take it pro bono. You don't have to put any money down. You know what I'm saying? And people always thinking that they giving me a leg up because they gave me a job. Like, no. That money come and go. Y'all know that bills got to get paid every day. Rent got to get paid. You stand in the room, everything got to get paid by the week or by the month. So as quick as money come in, it's going out. And I was scared to leave the shelter. I was scared to do a lot of things. But I'm going to tell you, I just say that to say, like, when God is nudging you about certain people, he won't let you sleep. He won't let you eat. Every time you go around these people, the energy is going to be off. They going to act like they can't have a good time around you, but calling you, screaming and talking all this stuff when they out with other people. It was a lot of things God was trying to get me to see in this period where he had me sitting down and had a lot of things paused in my life. And that's why I tell you, you got to be careful about who you put your mouth on, how you laugh at people when they fall down because you was jealous of them when they was up. Because God will place that person right back in the predicament, in the position where they was higher than they was before when you started being jealous of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I question a lot of things, even with him coming in my life. A lot of people tried to, call me stupid. A lot of people just really put me down really bad over the years. And that goes from parents all the way down to fake friends that I had around me. It hurts the most when it started from family, because you have to hear how people talk about you, how they think you don't have a brain. They think that you don't have no common sense. You can't defend yourself. And that's part of the reason why I left Miami, to really, and I'm glad that I had to hit it the way that I hit it here after dealing with my baby father, because prior to the years of me dealing with him, nobody would talk about the fact how I held my own, how I never had to ask anybody for anything. I never even had an eviction put in my name, even after I became homeless. I never had my bad credit. My credit was still increasing, even when I went through that homelessness. So People don't want to give credit where credit due because they too busy. It's like you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. But these people who's in competition with you and want you to be who they want you to be so they can feel better about themselves. And unfortunately, I'm in a season where I'm not dimming my light. I'm not, you know what I'm saying, darkening my light around me and my aura and my energy for anybody. I shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to dumb myself down so that people don't be intimidated of me, so that they'll be cool with me, so that they'll be friends with me, because I ain't never pined for that. And so I went through a lot, like I told y'all, in 2024. And I even went through a period where my mom was debating me leaving the shelter address that I was at on my baby's birth certificate. I leave it there because it's a representation of what good people go through in this world. If you're not careful and you don't listen to your intuition and you don't keep God first before everything that you do, it doesn't matter about how good a person look. It doesn't matter about how good they dress it up. It doesn't matter about how good the dick is, how good the pussy is. It doesn't even matter about, what you feel around that person or how they make you feel. What matters in the end is if you are able to trust this person around you. What matters in the end is if you feel comfortable with having this person around your children, if you feel comfortable with having this person in your home, if you feel comfortable telling your business to these individuals. You understand what I'm saying? That's what matters in the end. That's what matters in the end. Nobody got time for that. That's weird. Who just pulls up? They just pulled up to turn into this parking lot just to turn and go back. You could have been done that. You could have turned. I don't know. That's weird, like, behavior. That's really weird. And then tried to talk to me, but I've been misunderstood for a very long time, and things got worse before it got better. And I'm here to say, like I said, God really kept me through a lot of situations with friends, money that I put in their hand, and just for them to turn around and talk to me all kind of stupid and crazy, and I really just think that, I say that to say, because I don't know who I'm helping. Sometimes God has to let these people mask. He has to rip them off around you, not because he wants these people to hurt you and do you and let them do you the way that they did you, but because you would never learn and he could never get you around from these people if he don't rip the mask off, right? If he don't show you how they can talk down to you, how they can talk to you. And it was crazy how people used a certain tone of voice with me, standing back talking about something. You ain't gonna get a basket. I said this. I just said I wanted one. Looking at me stupid. And the thing what hurts the most is all these people who they flock to, all these people who they invited certain places didn't tell me nothing about it. Kept talking about something like they had all these cousins. You ain't got all these cousins. You hang around other girls or whatever it is that you doing. You know what I'm saying? Lying to me. And because you don't want me to feel some type of way that you want to hang out with other friends, you don't want me around. And that's cool. Like I said, people are going to remember what I've done for them. They're going to remember how real I was. They're going to remember, even if they have to go through periods and cycles of their life where they're being condemned and judged, and they're going to realize that what they're going through and who was around them would have never, it would have never happened and went down that way if I was around. Because it's just a certain way that I move. Even when people use a certain tone of voice to me, I'm not finna wrestle with people's demons. Certain battles, God already dropped in my spirit not to fight. So when people show me who they are, I'm finna take it at face value, and I'm finna handle you accordingly. You understand what I'm saying? I don't have to sit up here and wrestle with you and go back and forth with you and send long paragraphs to you when you already know what time it is. You know why you talking to me crazy like that. You know why you're sitting there into my life. You know why you doing the things that you're doing to my life. So when it reveals itself, there's no reason for me to sit up here and give you no explanation or argue with you and give you more of my energy. You know what I'm saying? And so I just kept going through periods. I just kept going through cycles. You know what I'm saying? Friends who was supposed to be friends, kicking me out their apartment, knowing I ain't had no other place to go, and I was full-blown pregnant and set to deliver my son 2 months, really a month and a half after they said that they wanted me out their apartment, only to come back and comment up under my videos talking about some congratulations when they see that my son was born and we had made it out alive. You know what I'm saying? And found shelter. When I tell you I encountered demons, I did. I truly have, because there is some mental fog or delusion that's surrounded around these people. Because if there was ever a time that I know that I didn't give somebody some notice about them wanting them out of my place, and I knew that they was full-blown damn pregnant, I don't give a damn about what insecurities or what I feel, because I'm not even that type of person that made her feel like she couldn't have me in her apartment. She came home one night and seen my cat, and she didn't want the cat there, and that's but my cat ran away, and then he just so happened to come back. So I didn't want to just, you know what I'm saying, and she just so happened to come in, and he was in the living room. And ever since then, after that moment, she started putting cameras in her room, talking about something. I smell weed and all this other extra shit. It went over her head how I was giving her the money, a portion of my money. I had to save some money, because if I didn't save anything and have anything, I wouldn't even been able to get the bus to get from Houston to Austin to get to the shelter. And I only gave her money every month because I didn't want to make it seem like I was freeloading off of her. And after she begged me to come to her apartment, after she was like, I'm gonna get you a lift from where you at, this, that, and the third, and then just to flip on me like that, you know what I'm saying? So God was just taking me through a season. He was taking me through a season. This was the main chick all up in my face talking about something. I listen to all your videos. I love all your videos. Going out with me. I'm going to help this chick out with her car. Her car done broke down. Anytime you have me around you, you're going to profit. You're going to benefit in some type of way. You know what I'm saying? I'm a good person. I'm a loyal person. I'm not perfect. Okay, not being perfect means I may not know everything, I may not do everything right, but if you my fucking friend, you around talking about something, you got my back, you supposed to pick up the slack of whatever it is I'm lacking in. You're not supposed to use that and discredit me or exploit me. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like every single person, because they see me living one way and then they see that I need their help, they use that as an opportune time to kick me when I was already down. And it may hurt the seasons and cycles that God take you through, because you don't understand it. You like, is there nobody real that I will ever encounter in my life? Sometimes God wants you to walk alone. He's a jealous God. He just wants it to be you and him. And I think that's really the path that he had me on, because it's like every single friend I thought was a friend that was around me when I was up, and then I came and I needed their help, they flipped on me in some type of way. Flipped and showed me their true colors. And so I was done with her. I cleaned out the room that she had me living in. I cleaned it out, pregnant and all, mind you. I had full-blown preeclampsia. When I got to the hospital after cleaning her room, leaving her key up under the mat, telling her she never has to worry about me again, she went and ransacked all my shit in the room, talking about she was looking for towels, and then didn't put my stuff back in the manner that I had it, clean and in the corner. She left it the way it was. So I cleaned out all my shit, put it in the storage. I don't know what she got or what she went into. So after that, she was already feeling some type of way. So then she got in that night, didn't say nothing to me. That morning, she was like, I want my space back. I said, that's cool. You could have told me that shit last night, and I could have at least started making preparations or whatever, calling somebody. So you clearly wanted me out on my ass. You wanted me out down bad some damn where, and I could have lost my fucking baby. And she had already had a miscarriage. So you just don't know where people's mind be. It's like, if I lost my baby, you'll lose your baby. But I didn't lose my baby because of God. So all that stress, going up and down. She stayed on the 3rd floor. I'm taking all my bags down to the 3rd floor. Got to go back up, cleaning out, going back up. My foot swole as hell. I had nobody to call, nobody to help me. I did it. Put her key under the mat. I said, you never have to worry about me again, boo. God bless you. Blocked off everything that I knew I had her blocked off. I didn't think I didn't have her blocked on TikTok, because that's how she reached out and said congratulations. Once she said that, didn't respond to her blocked ass on TikTok. She never has to worry about me again. And so she, like I said, it was a miracle that I made it to the hospital. And all my stuff broke out in the middle of the hospital. I remember just breaking down and feeling so disgusted about myself. And I remember feeling embarrassed and humiliated. I had all my stuff in trash bags, and people were looking at me. The nurse, she cried, and she didn't understand. She's like, are you homeless? I said, yeah, I don't have no place to go. She said, you have no one here? I say, no. All my family is in Miami, and they won't let me get on the plane because I'm too far along. And I remember that nurse, I remember she hugged me. I really liked the ham sandwiches, and she would bring me as many ham sandwiches. And I remember when she came back, she was like, you really like these? I brought you 5 of them, and extra mayo, how you like it. And I got you some apple juice. She said, I'm so sorry. She said, I can call around for you and see and things like that, but the most we could do is keep you here for 3 days. I remember on the second day, they had social work come to the hospital. And I remember social work was like, she was so horrible, bro. If this is what people act like in social work, I really just don't even know what to say about that occupation, because she didn't do me any justice. And I remember she came around and she was like, well, Section 8 is full. And as big as fucking Houston is, there was no damn Section 8 available, right? She said, oh, income restricted, it's a wait list. I said, so what the fuck did you come here for? Well, I came here to tell you that if you don't let them induce you, they can't keep you here. This is not a shelter. So you either have to let them induce you. And I say, why would I let them induce me if after I have my son, y'all clearly said you're not going to let him? And she was like, no, we didn't say we would keep him or whatever. We said that we couldn't release him to you if you don't have an address to give us. And okay, I came here, I was fucking homeless. I clearly don't have no place to damn go. So clearly, that's not an option. That's not a viable option for me. And so I remember the lady, this was a white lady, I'll never forget her. And her name was Jackie. And the night before, I was asleep. When I woke up, there was a paper next to my bed. And she had put $50 in there for me. And she had her number written down at the bottom. And lo and behold, that was the money I used to get the Flixbus from Houston to Austin. And so under the paper or whatever, she had printed out and wrote down some extra shelters and stuff like that for me to call. She said, when you wake up, I want you to call every single last one of these shelters. They're probably going to refer you, if they sit at their full, to other shelters that's on this list. While you're here for the next 2 days, call every single shelter on this paper. And I did that. And lo and behold, like she said, all the shelters she had on there was either names that they gave me that they referred me to, if the ones that I called were full. And so I couldn't find any shelter in Houston. I called the last 5 shelters, and I remember just breaking down again. I say, well, I can't get home. I can't get home, so there's nothing my parents can do. The most I could have probably done if I didn't want to be induced was call my mom and hope that somebody could have put some money together, because I'm always helping them. So I didn't think that they really had it to get me a bus, because a bus, you got to understand something. Either they're not going to let me fly. I have to get a bus or I have to get a train. If I get a bus from here all the way to Miami, that's several different transfers, number one, I have to do. Secondly, that's going to cost more than a flight, because I looked it up before. And so when I looked it up, to get a bus from here to Miami, that's every bit of between $300 and $350, probably damn near going up to $400 to get a bus from here to Miami, right? So my last option would have been to do that, but I ended up calling, got a call back. They said, well, if you can get here, but we're kind of skeptical of allowing you in because of your medical condition. I had severe preeclampsia. They asked for a medical, they was like, this is bad. You could end up, you know what I'm saying, losing a baby on the way here, when you get here, and it's going to take time for your health care and all that kind of stuff to switch over. And in that time, they was thinking about all these different things, right? Because when you have bad preeclampsia like that, you have to have around the clock care. And it was going to take at least about a month or two for my health care to try to switch over to there, to Austin. So they gave me a hard time. The only thing I told this lady, I said, I have nothing, but if you work with me, I will do what I have to do to earn my keep there. I will not cause any problems. And I didn't. I made a promise to that lady. I made a promise to her, because previous places I've been, and shelters that I've been, they disrespect me so bad, I ended up losing my cool. And I almost had a run-in with one of the shelters in Houston, because the lady stood in the corner of my room while I was having an interview, and then gonna talk about something I thought I told you. I shouldn't have to come up here and tell you to clean the bathroom. I just so happened to put the call on mute so the interviewer didn't hear, but she still didn't move forward because she was like, that's unprofessional, put me on mute. And she knew that shit, it's a time and a place. If you're running a nonprofit organization, you know that there's a time and a place for everything, especially when you have meetings and things like that. So I said that the way that I lost my cool at that other place, I wasn't going to do that because I was pregnant. And I ended up going off on her. And it was really bad. Like, her husband ended up having like a heart attack. He almost had one. And I didn't go down to even eat dinner with them the night before I left. You know, the girl, you know, who really liked me, who got close to me in there, she was like, don't leave. I made your favorite dinner. I made the mashed potatoes like you wanted me to, Victoria. You can come down and eat with me. Just come eat with me. And I did not go down. I don't fuck with like suck ass shit like that. I don't play that with her old ass. You know what I'm saying? She's Jamaican, but she married a white dude. But I don't care what you are. I don't care what your background is. She didn't do the other girl like that. And the other girl who was standing there lied to her and said her mother was sick just for her to go fly back to New York and get an abortion. But you made it so hard for me. And the one who was lying to your face, you let her get away with murder. I never understood that. That's why I got so close to the God. And I had to truly understand how certain energies just don't mesh well with mine because of who they are and who I am. But I ended up getting to Austin or whatever. Again, got worse before it got better. The staff, once they found out about me, see, the first couple of weeks I got there was good. Once one of them staff members went and looked me up and saw I was on YouTube, saw I had a book, you got to understand something. Those women, she had coloring books that she had on Amazon. She didn't have any comments, maybe like one comment, but it didn't have any ratings. So when you go on my Amazon, you see I got 2 books and they got motion going on. She done went and I noticed because she came in my room telling me some, girl, I looked you up, girl. I looked you up. Ever since then, all my problems started. Oh, you went and got your MBA? Oh, this and now you on YouTube. Oh, you got 2 books. And, you know, again, I'm just trying to like keep my cool, keep my composure. From there, it started from her disrespecting me, talking my son, put it in one hand and it ain't, girl. Like she thought I was acting bougie. I never came in there acting bougie. You looked me up. I never came in here acting bougie. I'm staying in the fucking shelter. I did not come in here, you know, trying to act bougie. And so I don't know if she was influencing them girls, but them girls didn't even want to eat my food, was going around coughing. They had like they didn't want me in the kitchen cooking by my damn self until I showed them. One of the ladies, she came from Canada. She was like, Victoria made some good baked chickens and cornbread. Why y'all always got to have, we only need sous chefs if they don't know how to cook. You know what I'm saying? If they don't even know how to bake or season or do anything. And so, they made life for me there really hard. I only lasted probably about maybe 6 months there, to try to really give me a leg up after I had Eli, so I wouldn't have to go back or depend on anybody. But they was nasty because, like I said, when I didn't come back for the holiday break, most people who understand, they'll say, okay, we get what you went through going here. We get how people treated you. She didn't say any of that. The director was like, well, you didn't come back after the 3rd day, so you can never come back to this shelter ever again. I said, cool. I didn't even respond back to the email. They was telling my business. So what I did, I didn't talk to anybody there. I wasn't cool with anybody. I remember I broke down in the living room and one of the girls came from the back talking about something. Can you please keep it down? I was in and out of the hospital I remember when I came back, my eye was bloodshot red because pink eye was going around. And so I heard them in the office talking about something. Oh, did you see Victoria's eye? I heard the staff member said that to 2 other girls who was in the office. And then that's when you hear them screaming, talking, laughing and stuff. So I could hear it all the way in the back of the damn house. I knew none of them fought with me, and none of them was professional about their job. None of them was professional. They lied to me about who was going in and out of my stuff. They all had this lie talking about to protect the girl who started a lot of instigating in the shelter. They protected her by saying they didn't know who ate the food or whatever, that the cameras wasn't working. I said, so y'all got a nonprofit organization. Y'all make us do drills to keep us safe. You got pregnant women here, but the cameras don't fucking work. And that's our only line of defense and security, because you don't have a security officer here. But the cameras don't work. Okay. And so one of the girls who was playing like she was my friend, that's how stuff started getting weird. She wanted to invite me around her house. Invited me around her house, bought me food, all this kind of stuff, talking about something. I just want to give you an outlet so that this, that, and the third. I remember coming to her, trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. I asked her, I said, do you know, because you call yourself my friend, do you know, she was another staff member, but she my age. I said, do you know who ate my stuff? Is the cameras really not working? She said, no, that the cameras don't work. Mind you, after I left the shelter, maybe like 2 days went by. She probably didn't know because she was no longer working there. And so she reached out talking about something. Oh, Victoria, I just wanted to let you know that I really respect and appreciate our friendship, and I really love you and Eli. I didn't even respond back to her. I cut communication off from every single last person that was at that shelter. You my friend, and you respect the friendship. A non-existent fucking friendship, because I don't even know you that long. The people that I did know for longer than you, that I thought was friends, wasn't even my friends. But like I said, I ended up cutting communication off from her. And one of the ladies respected me. She brought my book and wanted me to sign it. The other girl was like, oh, if I bought it, would the money go to you? It was a lot of stupid shit that they did. I remember they told us we had to go somewhere, and the lady was like, oh, I tell y'all to get up early so y'all can get everything. Y'all always wait till the last minute. You saying all that rah-rah, but you still ain't going to open up the fucking door to let my son get his medicine, because I don't care none of that shit you saying. I'm not going to whatever event that y'all telling us we got to go to if my son don't have his medicine, because my son had breathing problems. He almost lost his fucking life, and I had to vouch and for me to be able to go to Texas Children's, because they was trying to have me go to some rundown hospital that was closer to the shelter in Georgetown. And so the doctors was like, oh, you made it here just in time, because he was overexerting his breathing. He could not breathe. And I didn't have the stuff that I needed, the proper machines and things like that. But I got him there. And like I said again, that's why I will always love Texas Children's. I will always love Texas Children's. Texas Children's gave me, I remember, 3 bags of Enfamil and Pampers. They gave me an Enfamil backpack that I used because I didn't have no backpacks, no baby backpacks. You know what I'm saying? They gave me a nice little Enfamil backpack to keep for Eli, to pack all his stuff from whenever we had to go different places and things like that. And I'll never forget Miss Catherine. I'll never forget Dr. Catherine, who did that for me. They watched everything I did at that shelter. Everything I did, any little gift that somebody gave me, they was going around telling my son, well, why but you got to move Victoria? Victoria get to say, oh, wow, they got you a nice backpack. They didn't get me one like that. So one of the girls, she really irritated the hell out of me. And I snapped on her one day, and she knew not to fuck with me or try me or take my son up out the room when I'm not around. So they knew that, but yet they felt like because of the staff, that's why I'm telling you, I reiterate, when the staff does not respect, they would do stupid stuff. Take my food off the thing, but then say, oh, I didn't touch it. I don't like it. I only had like the outer side of it was a jalapeno popper. So she ate the bacon, said she didn't like it. Put the fucking jalapeno back on the damn pan, talking about something. Oh, but you touched it. I don't give a fuck that you ain't eating and put your mouth on it and you fucking touch it. So if you ain't like it, you drop the whole fucking jalapeno popper in the garbage. You don't put half of the fucking jalapeno popper back on the damn pan where I got all my other jalapeno poppers that I'm about to eat. Ignorant assholes, and up in age, 50 plus, 40 and 50, 35 and plus and up, acting like that. So that's why a lot of them girls treated me the way that they treated me in there, and they felt comfortable being loud about the disrespect and mocking me in the living room because the staff did not respect me and they didn't do their job properly. So It was so much going on in there. I just knew I couldn't be there no more. I tried to hold out for Eli. I really did. And I just said, you say that you got me, so let's really see it in this season and test it out that you got me. I left. We stayed in the in-town suites. The girl who was playing like she was my friend or whatever, coming around, checking in. She was like, oh, I'm in the area. Blew my phone up like 3 times. I really didn't want to be bothered. She was like, oh, well, the food stamp should have hit because this and that. And, oh, well, I checked mine. It's like she kept pushing, like, every excuse I gave her. Like, clearly after the second one, that means I do not want to be bothered, right? That means, okay, well, I'll just check on you another time, whatever the case may be. It was not that serious for you to take me to the grocery store that day. But again, me not knowing who I had around me, took me to the grocery store. She stood in the back of the aisle. I was just going down the aisle looking at different stuff. She said, you ain't gonna get a basket? She could have went and got the basket, but didn't go get the basket. She was at, oh, you ain't gonna get a basket? Her nephew she was taking care of said one time, like, oh, you remember that crackhead we picked up on the side of the street? He was indirectly talking about me. I don't know what this girl was going behind my back saying. I know she was lying about her situation, talking about who was still with her and watching the kids. I ain't say nothing, but in the moment, in the heat of the moment that we kind of both went through similar situations, I dropped a lot of money on her, and I put money in her hand because she helped me out with a job. But you know, there was certain things where I was like, she wanted to be on my plan. I say, no, I'm not finna put you on my plan. I help you out with a phone, but I'm not finna put you on my plan. And it was a lot of things that I didn't understand why she talked to me the way she talked to me after all that I did to help her. And I just kept seeing how things was just declining around in my life. And I'm like, it should not be this long for me to get a breakthrough. And I just started cutting everybody out of my life and from around me. I remember she would pop up and be like, oh, can you support me how I support you? Mind you, she started doing inspiration and motivational videos like I was doing. She never did this before. I helped her out with her YouTube, was giving her pointers, and I told her stick and create a niche, which I thought she was going to do the cooking, but then she ended up doing inspiration and motivational videos. You know what I'm saying? And so God was just showing me a lot about a lot of people lying to my face. I remember I ran into another one of my friends that I thought was cool with me, helped her out with building her TikTok shop, right? And so we ran into each other at the water park. She was with her kids and some other dude. I ended up giving her a water bottle. She was like, oh, water, because I bring my own water bottles when I go to the water park. And I gave her one, and then she ended up sitting a couple tables down from me. I was sitting by myself with Eli, you know what I'm saying? But I've noticed her, and then she was like, oh, well, we getting ready to leave. So I'm thinking they're getting ready to leave. She showed me how to put my stuff in the lockers. Tell me why me and Eli stayed to the end of the park closing, which was around 7:30ish. I was doing one of my lives that I was doing, and I happened to see that same dude she was with 2 of her kids, right? I thought y'all said y'all was leaving. I cut her off. I say, there was no reason for you to lie. If you didn't want me hanging around you or whatever the case may be, it's very much so simple. You know, but I don't know if I was putting people on the spot or whatever, but God was just showing me what I say that to say, and I'm being very generic with it. I feel like my baby father got in communication with one of them girls at the shelter because she started acting real weird after she asked for my phone one time, and he reached out to me about his dog dying, and she ended up glimpsing at his number, but then she went on her phone typing something. In my spirit, I just feel like she got in communication with my baby father some way. I would get sick when I would see them girls getting stuff out the refrigerator, the personal refrigerator that had like my drinks and food in it. They would be like, oh, it's one croissant left. I didn't know if you wanted. I ended up eating the croissant. I started having pains in my stomach. My throat felt like it was going to close up or whatever the case may be. And so it was a lot of things that was happening. They started acting real weird, acting like they didn't want to be around me. When I told them how they would make me feel, they still was like, oh, well, I just think that we should just, you know, not be around each other, after finding out that whoever they had around them was lying, saying that I said that their baby was sick, and I never said that. You know what I'm saying? They had silly people around them that was lying and saying stuff that they want to take accountability, and so they all just put it on me because nobody was fucking with me. And so them girls treated me really bad in there. That's just like surface level type stuff. They would see my baby throw up on the floor, would pass by and say, oh. You know, when I saw that they didn't give a damn about my child, I don't care that you don't like me, but you dragging your feet on taking me to go to CVS to get medicine for my son. You thinking the shit funny. You talking about something, calm down, I'm coming. That's when I got to go, because I'm not finna subject my son to that kind of level of abuse and stuff because somebody don't like me. My enemies should not be his enemies. So I took a leap of faith and moved us into an in-town suites. Still couldn't get him a car seat because the big car seat that I had, USPS didn't ship my shit back to. I feel like somebody stole it, filed a claim, still didn't get a refund, still didn't get my son's car seat. And that's cool. Like I said, I had spent money on that. I could not get another one. It was a lot that was going on, but I thugged it out. Some way, somehow God made a way for me, and things happened that really helped me out. I'm not going to get into too much detail, but I was able to do what I needed to do for my son. And I say that to say that I don't know who I'm helping by saying what I said. Today was a mouthpiece. I was supposed to be and come on here and said it, but a lot of times you just got to heal from certain things, and how hard that was for me. It was very traumatic. I still to this day don't believe that I went through something like that and that I made it out and that I still got my son. I think that it was plots on my life, plots to have people do a bait and switch. She would always cry, talking about somehow this nigga did her, this and that. And I would never talk bad about my baby father. I would tell her, if I'm keeping my kid away from the father, it's a reason for that. And I snapped on her and I told her, you need to stop bringing that shit up, because you have no idea. You have no idea about what he did to me. And when I screamed like that on the phone and sounded off like that, she said, well, I'm sorry, Victoria. I didn't mean, I probably need to stop saying that and doing that. Yeah, you probably do. You probably need to fucking do. Just shut up completely, entirely about that situation. And I know that he ain't gonna come out and tell the truth. And wherever he went, he would lie, add insult to injury, and throw me under the bus and kick me when I'm already down in regards to my name, because he don't want to have to take accountability for how he left me and his son destitute. Whether you wanted another child, whether you never liked me, whether you was sent in or paid, responsibility is responsibility, okay? And that's an innocent soul and an innocent life that should have never been subjected to what we were subjected to, because you wanted to be piss poor with your attitude, and you wanted to be a whole demonic demon, okay? And the green eyes, the red skin, the tattoos don't mean shit to me. You understand what I'm saying? I already know what time it is. And so sometimes you have to go through things to really realize where God is trying to take you and how he's trying to position you. You understand what I'm saying? And sometimes he has to make you uncomfortable. Sometimes you have to go through a season where he says he loves you, but he got a funny way of showing it, because he's trying to get you to see something. He's trying to get you to wake up to what your reality is and who these people are around you that you cannot trust. Sometimes you can't trust anybody when God's trying to set you up for these blessings that he's trying to set you up for. And that's the uncomfortable but the raw, unadulterated, unfiltered truth. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell my story everywhere I go. It hurts still. I didn't think I was going to break down like that on this video, but I pulled myself together. And I'm always going to pull myself together, and I'm always going to speak my truth. Just understand, anybody that's out there trying to discredit me and say that I'm lying, I keep my receipts. I got cash apps, baby, tens of thousands of dollars that I've sent to people that I only got, what, $100 back? You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely out there that there was imbalance in the partnership, imbalance in the friendship, and then they went out there and slandered me and talked bad about me and gossiped my business behind my back. Baby, let me tell you something. There's ever a time where people question about why I ain't got people around me and why I ain't got a best friend to this day. Let's go down the list. And I'm going to tell you why I ain't got one. Every single last one of them was fake. They were devilish. They were selfish. They were manipulative. They was deceitful. They was two-timing. They was two-faced. They was competitive. They was jealous. They was envious. That's not my fault. What's meant for me will come for me. Who's real for me will be real to me. Unfortunately, it was none of these people that I encountered. Even people that I encountered when I fell down. I did what I was supposed to do. I did my 1-2. I blessed you like you blessed me. Let's move on, because clearly you're not my friend. I don't care how you try to dress it. I don't care how you try to come back and apologize. The disrespect, when the kids disrespect you, that's coming from a place. When lies get told and exposed about other little, even if it's minute, it's still a lie that came about your mouth. So that's already categorized you as a liar. No one stuck up for me. No one took my side. Little stupid stuff that was being said by the staff has always had me figuring, like, was my baby father saying that I broke his heart? Because she messed around, and the girl who I told you was trying to copy, and any little thing that somebody did for me, well, I'll just go ask so-and-so, she gonna get me one too. Like, she was on my ass like that. I remember she had a family member that worked there, and that particular family member came out her mouth and said, well, yeah, especially when you go around here breaking people heart. I said, what the fuck you talking about? She said, oh, no, I'm just saying. What you saying? I don't break nobody's heart. Do you think I would break somebody's heart and then have to break my stuff down in order to cohabitate with other people that I don't know to live in a shelter? Baby, please. People who break people's hearts, they go on to the next big thing. They wouldn't have struggled and went through what I went through trying to get it the hard and earnest way. And that's why I know that God is the reason why he blessed me tenfold, was because of what I went through and everything that I've had to endure and suffer through. And it wasn't fair, because that should have never been my life. People should have never coached other people to come in my life and treat me like that. You know what I'm saying? Trick and treat me like that. And exploit and take certain situations that I've been through where I was vulnerable, okay, and going through something, and try to use that against me. God just showed me it was none but devils around me. And if I have to be by myself and it just be me and my son to the day I die, and I can see him grow old and be a grown man, then that's just exactly what it's going to be. I'm going to use my good years that I got left. I'm 30 years old. D'Angelo just passed away at 50, 51 years old. Baby, I'm going to use whatever 20, 30, 35 years, however long years God give me on this planet Earth, okay, to live out in peace and harmony and blessings. I don't have time for that. You're going to get your ass cut. And I'm going to tell you something. When you get cut, there's nothing that you'll be able to do with money, nothing you'll be able to do with dick, nothing you'll be able to promise me when I don't want you around me. And you've already shown me who you are. So, however this message inspires you, I hope that you can lift your head up after everything you've been through. I hope that you can just go out in the sun, plant yourself out in nature, and listen to God talking to you. I hope you can do that. I hope, I don't know how bad it is. I hope that I can push you and give you some kind of inspiration to push yourself together and not let what you've been through get you down. A lot of people discredit me, talking about some, oh, you don't know who mocking you, and, oh, girl, you talk about inspiration, you get paid. You know, when you're obedient, you're supposed to get paid. When you're obedient, you're supposed to reap the rewards from God. People are very ignorant, and a lot of things they said to me, talking about some, they went to church, caught the Holy Ghost, and God told them that the more they attack, the more harder I need to go, and they gonna be in big rooms, and this. I don't know if this sounded they went to a church or they got a damn reading. It sounded like a reading to me. But whatever it is, and people was trying to do to pull information, they gonna starve. You trying to pull information to get readings to block me, it's gonna backfire on you. You can't prosper out here trying to persecute and demean and demote somebody else to keep them beneath you that's not meant to be beneath you, all because you too intimidated and competitive and can't understand why it's me and it's not you. And I'm not finna explain that no more to people. I'm not finna keep going around people and they got internal demons that they fighting with, and they sit up here and take that shit out on me because I don't deserve it. All I did was come and try to have a better living for myself and keep my head down. I can't even do that. You know, and it's just sad. What I went through is sad, how people felt like they had to treat me and do me. But I'm always stick to God, baby, because I've seen the hand of the devil and also seen the hand of God work in my life. So with that being said, I hope that you could take my story. I hope that you could take my pain and turn it into power and transmute whatever energy that people try to send to you and work it into something positive for your life. Because, baby, let me tell you something. The devil only fight those the hardest, of whom he's intimidated by and who stands to do a great work in the kingdom of God. So understand who you are and understand what journey and path that you're on, and never let nobody see you sweat. Until next time, I love y'all, okay?